Okay, I need you to grind. I need you to grind. I need you to grind. Or don't. Today, we got to talk about this hustle culture. And is it actually toxic? Welcome to the channel Leadership with Mike. On this channel, I help new managers become more confident leaders, and I do that with no nonsense sense, if that makes any sense. Before I get into the toxicity of this hustle culture mindset, download your free PDF of 14 things that all new managers should know. And if you're a seasoned manager, I promise there's going to be something on there that you need to see. So download it now. Okay, so I was reading a blog post and the author was going on about, let's think about New Year's, that new year, new me, and what goals did you not reach? And then the article kind of went to, don't worry about the goals you didn't reach. Don't worry about becoming everything you wanted to become, because the idea of hustling and the hustle culture is actually toxic, and it's not doing you any good to worry about the things that you didn't accomplish, which part of me can understand. There's no point in beating yourself up for things you didn't accomplish. Sometimes you need to celebrate the things that you did. But the idea of calling something toxic seems very present, very current, very trendy. To call something that maybe we don't agree with, we call it toxic. And I felt the need to make sure that you understand hustle culture in and of itself is not toxic. You see, sometimes we need the idea of hustle, of grind, of making the world a better place for us. We need that to push ourselves. We need to have the mindset that what we want to do, we are going to accomplish at all costs. Okay, all costs? That is part of that toxic side. But we do, some of us, myself included, need to have the goals. And the goals are something that we are aiming for. I don't need for myself. I don't need the voice in my head saying, Mike, slow down. This is toxic hustle culture. You're not toxic. You should kick your feet up, put some Netflix on and chill. That doesn't work for me. To me, chilling is toxic. You see how silly it is just to throw toxic behind everything? Chilling, toxic, come on. So the idea of hustling, for me personally, has been nothing but beneficial. While I was younger, working a full-time job with my girlfriend, who is now my wife, I was hustling. I was hustling and I was failing. Business idea, creative ideas. There was failure after failure after failure. But the hustle mindset, the good hustle mindset, is what kept me going. It was what made it so that I was in a position to get married, buy a house, buy some rentals, get laid off, and still be okay. It was the hustle mindset that put me in a position to start a YouTube channel, to be able to talk to you while I was working a full-time job. That hustle is anything but toxic, if you ask me, because it made it so that I get to talk to you. Which part of that is toxic? Don't say me. So hustling made this possible. Now, I am only one case study. So let me ask you this. Is drinking alcohol toxic? It could be, yeah. Is eating toxic? Of course it could be. I mean, you're eating at McDonald's. I'm not going to call it out, but I mean, that shit's toxic. And damn good. Can working out be toxic? You ever talk to one of them CrossFit people? Listen, no judgments here, but they're a little bit on a different. What about marriage? Is marriage toxic? You see, all of these things, we as a society, a lot of us do on a daily basis. We make these choices to get married. We make these choices to start working out, join a CrossFit group. We make these choices to have a beer, to have a burger with extra bacon and extra cheese. These can all be considered toxic, but they can also be considered fantastic ways to enjoy your life. And that is my point on this hustle culture. Is it toxic? No, in and of itself, it is not toxic. It is very motivating for me. It keeps me on track. It makes me set goals to obtain. For me, it becomes more toxic when I write something down and I don't get that mark. That hurts me, but it drives me to get it next time, to get it tomorrow, to keep it on target, to make my goals something that I am striving for. So, as the original blog writer put, the idea of hustle culture being toxic and, not being able to look back and assess what you've done. I get that. We need to look at our accomplishments. We need to celebrate the small wins and the big wins. That's the idea of growing. That's the idea of hustling to get yours. So don't lean on and fault the hustle culture. So that's why you're going to sit back. I'm not part of that toxic culture. It's that hustle mentality that gets you from employee to supervisor, from supervisor to manager, from manager to executive level, or whatever fits your fancy. But you have to work towards it. If you don't like the word hustle, then don't use it. You have to have goals. You have to strive. You have to want to grow. That is what we do with our lives. That's how we get the most enjoyment. And yes, you have to work at it. And yes, you may not hit the target that you set. Does not mean you're a failure, but it does not mean that trying to hit these targets is toxic. Go out, hustle, get yours, but make sure you're doing it in a way that does not mess with you up here. Have the goals, have the targets, go for them. If you don't hit them, you're still making forward movement. That's why we hustle. So, get your coffee. Let's go to the next one, my friends.